Okay, we're going to continue with this reference setup. I have to keep these little movies short. So I have my shark. I have, from the top view, we can see the bottom of the shark, but this will work. And this is actually set up for the front view to see the left side. Sometimes it's just really annoying trying to get the correct viewport to show your object. I've had issues where if I see something from the left view and I set it up and I get the front and the back, everything's confusing. So sometimes I'll put another reference shape in the scene. So I'm going to come in and say top and just put a little ball, and then go and double check to make sure everything works. And as long as it works, the fact that I'm in front view to see the side here doesn't bother me. I just want to know what viewports I need to be in to see it correctly. So I'm just going to check and say left and take a look at this, and really the left is going to be the front is going to be the left. It works fine. So that's what we'll be doing. Just make sure when you're modeling, we are in one of the orthographic views. So if I go to top and then go to front, and your shortcuts are right there, so T and F, I can get into the correct view and see this. Alright, so I really don't need this little reference ball now. I just want to double check to see that my views were set up properly, and now I can start to model this. So the first thing we want to do is decide how we're modeling it. And I am going to be working with a symmetry modifier. So I have this box and I'm going to be duplicating it onto this area. I'm going to just set it up on the origin so the box is this side of it, and then when I duplicate we'll get the other side. You can actually set to weld and it should remove this center face. I like keeping that face in case I want it to, and I'll convert this to an editable poly, in case I want it to do edge loops. If I remove this back face and I don't keep quads, sometimes when you go to do any edge loops, the Swift Loop tool just won't work. So by leaving it whole for the first part at least of the modeling, it saves me a little bit of heartache. So I just have one big polygon on each of these sides, and I'm going to start to break it up as I need it to get the shape of the animal, but I want to keep it as low as possible for as long as possible. And then that way I won't be fighting against a lot of selections that I have to make. So we're just going to go and start this box modeling. Again, I'm going to be using my front, so F and T for the top. This is the bottom, but I really want the top view, and I just didn't have one. So this will work for us. Okay, so let's go to the left side view and just start to shape this box to match the shark. So where do I need my edge loops? I'm going to really not need this back of the shark. I'm going to pull this down to here. So I am going to select this back face and just go out and grab that and go back into the correct viewport. I'm going to shorten this up. I kept it that length for reference to make sure that I had my artwork set up properly and the scale was proper on the tail, and it was. Now I don't need it anymore. I can also just go in and start scaling this down at this point, and maybe scoot that up, and then just make another edge loop and stretch this out. So we just want to make it as quick as possible. I know I'm going to have fins. I'll put in place where I can cut that later. I just want to cut across this large fin. We're going to change our view to edge faces so I can see that, and I know I'm going to make an adjustment here, so I just want to figure out where, maybe right here with this fin. Okay, turn off my Swift Loop, and then I can do the same thing. I can go and change my view, going to hold down Alt to go to the front view. We're in polygon mode. Come back and scale this in. Down to the nose. And then I can go to vert mode. Make sure I have all my vertices. Scale those up. I do want another one, at least here for my edge loop. Let's pop one in. I'll do the edge of the mouth. Turn off edge loop. Scale. And I don't have really good reference for the shark. Now, one more here would help me to get the shape correct. I'll just scale this one in a little bit more for now. So I'm going to put at least one center divide going down through the shark. That actually looks pretty good. And then we will go into edge mode. So I have that edge selected. I'm going to change and go to my left view. So I can kind of get the front here. Change that out of wireframe. And what I want is I'm going to grab this side of the face. There it goes. Don't know why I keep getting weird issues. I am recording. I think the recording's messing things up. So Alt to deselect that side, because I'm not dealing with that side. L to get into the viewport I want. And I can push this over a little bit and start looking at my other reference. Maybe I can push this over a little bit. And I want to see how wide, how round the shark is and where I want to put in some points. I can put this into that viewport if I feel I need to. But right now I just want to get a little bit of a shape here going on. Let's scoot him out a bit. And it feels odd because that tail is higher. But it is just that one edge loop that's getting pulled. So I will go and put another loop in that. Just want to figure out where. And I think because I'm having so many issues with this, I might need to really go in and do one more line. It just looks weird because it's tail. Okay, now we're just going to take all this tail info and shrink it all in. I'm going to go into vert mode for that. I've selected. Pull these in. Okay. Again, I'm just having problems selecting my edge loops. But I want to tuck this in. I do want to check to see how it's going to look with my turbo on, so I'm going to add a turbo smooth first. And check the shape of this shark. So let's turn off our edge faces. And I am ignoring over here. I'm going to put a support loop in for my turbo, but it's okay. So let's just check this. from the viewports. And I didn't do anything with the nose. The nose is a little weird, wonky now. We have to figure out where we're going to cut in this mouth. And let's go back to the front view. Again, I can come in and put a support loop if that's bothering me. I can delete it later. Show end results. That looks a little tighter. I really hate this bounding box. If you hit J, you get rid of that. It's always annoyed me. So J is the shortcut. That doesn't look too bad in terms of the shape. It does need to get a little bit more boxy around the top here. And then we come up more with the center of the head. But I want to get some features in before I start trying to play with that a little too much. Okay. Now that we have this, I'm going to go back into my side view and just start calculating what we need to cut. So I want to turn that edge faces back on. And this is with the turbo, so we can turn off the turbo, make sure we're in the edit poly mode. And let's just take a look to see where we're cutting that fin. So when I'm in orthographic view, we're between here, I do have this edge loop. And that's really too fat for this fin to come out of. The fins are pretty small, and it's closer to under the body as the body turns in. So visually it's about here and a little bit higher that we're cutting it. So we can put it right under, that might be your best bet, and then pull this down a bit more. I'm just going to kind of, I want to constrain this to the face. Slide it down the edge a bit. And now, we're ignoring the back one. I'm just going to do another cut here. So, I can pull that fin out. I can pull the one out, the dorsal fin out of the back. And then we have a small one down here that we're going to need. So that's going to be between here and about here for that cut. Put in another loop, just so I have that space, turn that off. And this one is a little high, but so I'm not making more geometry. Again, just lock that, slide this down, and this one. And that'll match up, this one will match up. Okay, now we'll extrude those faces. Select this one, and then we're going to just do a simple extrude. I don't want it to be a large extrude. Let's do a real short one and accept that. Come in, select this face. It is a little long, but I really want that one. I can shorten this up by pulling it. We'll do an extrude. Excuse me. We'll do an extrude, and that's going to be alright. So This is a little too transparent for me. I'm going to go and make it a little darker. I'm going to go in and go to my object properties and turn off see-through. I'm then going to go into my material editor, make a new standard, and just call it shark. I just want to go into diffuse, make it dark gray. And then we can play with our opacity. We'll drop this down to 50%, take a look at it on the... So let's take that and pull it back up. I want to see through it, but I want to just see through it. I don't want it to be too transparent. And this is really transparent right now. But having the material, now I have control over how transparent to make it. I can make it more opaque or less. So when I want to see it solid, I can just change this. I could also set up keyframes on my timeline with my opacity, and then I can just change by scrubbing the playhead. I don't like doing that. I'm always afraid I'm going to forget to remove it and have a shark go transparent and not realize it till too late. Okay.